lot has changed.
You're right.
In this episode of Qore, check out these explosive Fast and Furious videos. Then head over to contest.gamesradar.com/fastandfurious to enter the Fast and Furious sweepstakes. Take a shot at winning a $400 Best Buy gift card and all 4 Fast and Furious films, now available on Blu-ray and DVD.
Hey everyone, Veronica Belmont here with you once again. Welcome to Qore, episode number 15, presented by the PlayStation Network. And we're here in Seattle, Washington to check out MAG, the 256-person shooter where you get to order your friends to certain death, so you can savor the sweet taste of victory.
And I'm Audrey Cleo here in Japan to slice into Tekken 6, the latest throwdown in the legendary franchise.
You didn't think I'd pass up a trip to Tokyo now, did ya? I'm also here in Japan to infiltrate the mysterious Team Ninja headquarters and behold the deadly Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2. And if you love rolling stuff into giant balls, you'll love the latest installment of the always cute, always fun Katamari series, Katamari Forever. So whether you prefer ultimate warfare destruction or rolling cute things into a giant ball, we've got you covered for this episode. I'll see you on the inside.
A lot has changed.
You're right.
So, you know each other?
Multiplayer? Well, with 256 players, yeah, you can say that. I'm at Zibber Interactive here in Seattle to check out the magnificently massive shooter MAG. Okay, yeah, so with 256 players, it may seem like it would be total, utter chaos, but trust us, they've designed the games that you want to play together as a team, but you can still lone wolf it if you have to. So join me as I learn more about this title and sit in on a massive testing session. That's an order, soldier. Alright, so my real question is, what's the secret sauce? Why are you guys able to have 256 people playing at the same time when this hasn't been done before?
We're very conscious of what the player needs to see and know at any time. So a lot of games will render everything. We'll be tracking all of the characters all at once. And so we wanted to make sure that we saved all of the bandwidth and all the processing power for what players immediately need to see and know about. That's about all I can say. I mean, there's definitely a secret sauce out there, but you know, just, yeah.
All right, I won't beat it out of you today. But I mean, it's not something you could have done even a couple of years ago. I mean, with the proliferation of broadband access and high-speed internet connections that people have today, it definitely helps you guys build this kind of game.
It's true. I mean, the device itself, and knowing that everyone who's playing this game has a broadband connection, helps amazingly.
What's the advantage of being a little cog in this giant war machine? I mean, what's the benefit of playing as a member of such a larger group?
It's really, there are lots of opportunities for you to be a hero. So if you think about, I mean, on an 8-on-8 game, I love those games. And we have moments in our game that are very 8-on-8, kind of small tactical battle. But there's no other game that you can go out there with one repair kit, sneak behind the enemy lines, and spend a little bit repairing that anti-aircraft battery, and then send an entire opposing team of 64 guys back. You know, so those are those moments where you, as an individual, are not just the cog. I mean, you can have a big impact on the battlefield by one or two of your actions. We don't have the traditional classes, so you don't have medic, you don't have assault guy. I mean, those are all things that you can build your character into be, but we don't make you pick from one of 5 archetypes that we choose. We give you all the tools and say, hey, here's a litany of skills. How do you want to play? You know, what kind of special operations guy or girl do you want to be in?
Players can join one of 3 different military organizations: the Ragtag Comrades of Sever, the Gung-Ho Veterans of Valor, or the high-tech sleek soldiers of Raven, all deadly in different ways.
Is there one overall leader for all the platoons and all the squads? Is there one like general, for example?
There sure is. So every level of that chain of command has a leadership. So a squad, you've got one person out of that 8 that gets to throw their hat in the ring and say, I want to be a squad leader. And then we choose based on how long it's been since you've been in that role, etc., whether or not you get that squad leadership position. Above that, you got platoons. They all have a platoon leader. And then above that, for the whole battle on your side, you have the officer in charge of the OIC. And each one of those leaders have a different set of skills and a different set of tools to communicate to their squads, as well as help them with things like mortar strikes, recon, UAVs, and things like that. So they have cool new toys to play with as you move up that leadership rank, but then also a lot of communication tools for driving that squad towards what they want them to do.
Smoke out, smoke out.
Command abilities are up. Use them all.
I'm here now at the test pit at Zipper Interactive, where I'm about to join a live test session of MAG already in progress. Now, there's about 140 people here at this facility, but we're going to be joined by 2 teams in remote locations so we can get the full 256-person experience.
Okay, this is really a different kind of multiplayer. There's a lot going on, but it's definitely clear what I'm supposed to do. Just follow orders.
Let's go.
Run, 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 run.
Quick, get it up.
Going up the right side.
Awesome. All right, let's get past this gate and we're home free.
Yes! That's how you do it.
It's immediately apparent why there's a chain of command. You can see there's lots going on, and someone has to be in charge.
Oh, I got him, but then I died.
It's not easy testing a game like this, but since Zipper featured an early playable version of MAG at E3 this year, they've got tons of feedback from the fans. With the expertise Zipper gained creating SOCOM, and all the thumb hours spent on MAG so far, we're hopeful their secret sauce will redefine multiplayer warfare.
Did I kill him? I did, I knifed him to death. That was awesome.
Not again.
Stupid!
With GameFly, choose from over 6,000 titles. Play as long as you want and send them back when you're done. $5.95 to start. No late fees. Gamefly.com. Games delivered. Product shown rated E through M.
Anyone who has entered the shadowy world of the Super Ninja can tell you how deadly difficult it can be. While there have been many games in the franchise, Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 promises to slice all the others into ribbons.
This isn't just a sequel to Ninja Gaiden Sigma. Tell us what it's all about and why you're bringing it to the PS3.
We are viewing Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 as the ultimate Ninja Gaiden game. Looking back on the series, we have brought together different elements from the different games to make the definitive Ninja Gaiden game. Ninjas in Japan traditionally work for somebody. There's someone who tells them what to do. Ryu, however, is doing what he wants to do and is sort of his own master. So we think that's something different for ninjas. Ryu's signature move through the series has been the Inzuna drop. It's a move where he jumps up, twirls down, and slams down on the ground. In Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, he's able to do that with all his weapons. So this time, in Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, there are 3 female characters, and the first one is the heroine from Dead or Alive named Ayane. This has been the most requested feature from Ninja Gaiden fans. They want her playable. The second female character is Momiji. She first showed up as the heroine in Ninja Gaiden Dragon Sword. She's actually from the same village as Ryu Hayabusa. This is the first time people will be able to play her in a 3D game. The third character is Rachel. She first showed up in Ninja Gaiden Sigma, and she's back again in Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2. She carries a machine gun around with her, and she is going around hunting fiends.
What would you say was the biggest challenge to bring co-op play to Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2?
Action games are generally one player trying to take out the enemies and beat the game alone. To bring an online co-op mode basically required coming up with new game designs from scratch. We had to really re-examine what this new mode would entail and how to bring the fun of an action game to this new online co-op mode.
Explain the manga that you see during the loading screens and also in the collector's edition package.
Loading screens are boring. Everybody knows that. They're not fun. So we just figured this would be another way for players to stay in the game and enjoy the game while they can't actually play the game. The manga that we'll show during the loading screen works as sort of a prologue to Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2. You'll get to see some of the backstory and what's been going on in the world, get introduced to the world, and get introduced to the characters. We think it's a great way for people who are new to the series to get caught up. So I want to give a little exclusive information to all the people who are watching this video. Once you clear the game on the hardest mode, you'll get a golden health bar. So normally when you're playing the game, it's silver. Once you clear the game on the hardest mode, it'll show up as gold. And that's really a badge of honor for being a ninja master. That gold bar will also show up when you're playing online, and so when you're going online co-op and you see someone with that gold bar, you know they're really good. We really think that's a nice way to recognize all the master ninjas that are out there.
When you think of fighting games for PlayStation, one name has always been there, Tekken. And with Tekken 6, Namco Bandai's bringing their largest roster of characters to date. I sat down with the game's director and staff to find out more about the 6th edition of this famous franchise.
What would you say is the essence of Tekken?
I guess I could say that Tekken really is symbolized by the aggressive, destructive nature of the game, where you really focus on doing aerial juggles and trying to deal a lot of damage to your opponent. I guess, and in essence, that is what Tekken is. This is actually the greatest roster of characters we've had in the series to date. There's actually quite a few new characters this time around. We've got Bob, which his concept is being quite large, but still very nimble and quick moving, as well as Zafina from the Middle East. She uses assassination arts, but her movements are quite unique. We also have Miguel from Spain, and he's really the first character in Tekken who is a novice at a particular fighting art. He's more of a brawler. We have Lars Alexanderson, and he's got a really cool looking appearance, but also the way he moves is kind of influenced by Japanese hero TV shows and the movements they use there. Nancy is actually a character from an extra stage. Nancy is really unique in the fact that it's a robot, which is roughly over twice the size of normal characters. This is the first time we actually implemented such a feature. It was designed to take on multiple opponents at the same time. So as such, we use Nancy in the scenario campaign mode, and it really works well because you're fighting hordes of enemies at the same time. So Nancy is really suited to this type of condition. The scenario campaign mode is actually quite different from a lot of the other content that we've had in past Tekkens. One of the great new features actually is the online co-op, and this is really unique for a fighting game, we believe. Because normally you associate fighting games with fighting against people online, where this time you can team up with a friend online to go into scenario campaign mode to defeat the enemies and to gain customized items. One of the really impressive technical things we've been able to do with Tekken 6 is with the graphics. We kind of reevaluated the graphical engine with emphasis on it as a fighting game. And the most important thing to a fighting game is indeed the character animation and how smooth and dynamic it looks. So with an emphasis on that, we added the full-time variable animation blur to the characters while still running in 60 frames. But the blur really makes it look even smoother than that. So that was one new addition that we made. In the home version, we plan to have an on and off switch. We really believe that once you've been looking at the game for 10 minutes or so, and then you look at it, you compare it to another action game or even a past Tekken title, it will really stand out.
series rolls on with Katamari Forever, which combines new and classic levels with all new special effects. We're here at the Tokyo office of Namco Bandai to find out what makes this Katamari the best one yet.
Okay, Mr. Sunshine.
I'm here with Somehow. He's a localization producer on Katamari. So can you briefly describe the Katamari experience for us?
Okay, well, Katamari Forever is a unique, super quirky action game. It's the type of game that can't really be explained. The gameplay has to be experienced firsthand to fully understand the concept. The game is all about rolling up objects with a board, and the board is known as the Katamari. Basically, anything that you see on the game screen can be rolled up, provided that your Katamari is big enough to do so. The premise itself is extremely simple, but I think that it gives players the same kind of satisfaction that they can gain in everyday life. People in general like to collect things. You know, some people like collecting CDs, other people like to collect movies, for example, and so on. And I think that the gameplay in Katamari allows people to fulfill this need of collecting things. Katamari Forever is the biggest Katamari game yet, featuring various types of content. We have mini-games, new stages, and we have new modes. One of the new stages incorporates a new type of gameplay element. The player's Katamari basically becomes a water sprinkler. And basically in this level, the objective is to bring life back to a desert. As you're rolling, you'll see things come back to life. You'll see flowers, trees, plants, and other things come back to life.
Other than the typical bright, colorful Katamari style, what are the other visual styles in the game?
So basically there's 4 new filters. There's new, there's classic, and there's wood, and there's also comic.
So are these visual styles something that you have to unlock, or can you do them right from the beginning?
You'll have to unlock.
Oh.
So you'll have to play through the game from start to finish to basically unlock all the filters.
So this is really the first time that Katamari is able to use the 6-axis controls. How is that going to change the gameplay?
Well, with this new installment, we've incorporated a new move called the Prince Hop. And basically this new move allows the player to jump, and it's performed by tilting the 6-axis controller upwards. With this new move, players will be able to reach inaccessible locations with ease. They don't have to concentrate on getting their Katamari to a certain size before reaching a particular location. They'll be able to go there straight away by jumping there.
The soundtrack for Katamari has gained quite a following. What makes it so special?
I just want to hook as many people into the Katamari world as I can. That's the feeling I had in mind when directing the sound for the game. That feeling combined with some originality is what has led people to find the music and sound from the game as special.
We hear there's going to be some remixes of the original tracks for Katamari Forever. What can we expect of the soundtrack?
We chose the tracks from the series that we really have strong feelings for. There was a lot of thought put into who we really want to cover each song. I made offers to artists who I really admire. It would have been nice to be able to ask more foreign artists. The Japanese version of the soundtrack is to be an electric and organic 2-disc set.
So, do you create your own sound effects for Katamari? And if so, how do you do it?
Many sound effects and sounds that were hard to describe to others to produce were made by myself. The sound effects in Katamari Damacy are more about the idea than the technical side of how to produce them. I try to have fun and interesting ideas for each sound effect. When I can't think of an idea like that, I try to create a more realistic sound. For instance, there are items which make sounds when rolled up. I try to put a sound effect to any object that could possibly appear like it would make sound when rolled up. So for example, when you roll up a radio, it will play a funny tune in Japanese. I do test a lot of sounds. I first make a pilot version for myself. For some sounds, this first version stays in the game. Other sounds have to be redone by the sound staff. For instance, there are all the voices that people make when rolled up. For these, I really do my best to decide mostly what I want at the pilot stage. I don't decide on any words ahead of time. I'll find some random person in the company, have them look at a screenshot or two, and record what they think the voice should be in the game. Many voices like these remain in the final version. I found that people are not sure what to do, and their shyness can produce a voice sample which fits perfectly into the game.
Mr. Sunshine. Mr. Sunshine.
Hey everyone, Audrey here at the Kabuki Theater in San Francisco. Okay, it's August, it's the last month of vacay season, so to help you end it with a bang, here are the hot new Blu-ray titles you should grab for winding down those summer nights.
Will you marry me?
Yes! Peter already booked the place we went for that long weekend. So romantic. So romantic.
She doesn't know she's on speakerphone.
That's where you guys had sex for the first time, right?
Wow.
Marry him. Lock that stud down, girl.
Jason Segel and Paul Rudd bring bromance to a whole new level in I Love You Man. Rudd plays recently engaged Peter, who's in search of a best man for his wedding. The only problem is he has no dude friends. That is until he meets the outrageous, slightly unhinged Sydney, much to the dismay of his fiancée, played by Rashida Jones.
It might be a little bit small.
Totally, and it smells like fart.
Mutant Chronicles, based on the RPG, comes full high def this month.
Give me 20 soldiers and a ship.
And what can these 20 do that our armies could not?
For a mission.
Yeah, you know, save the world kind of thing.
The year is 2707. Humans have exhausted Earth's natural resources and are at war with each other. Adding to the drama is a machine that's converting them into violent mutants, so it's up to a team of scrappy soldiers to save humanity before it's too late.
Here we go!
In the dramedy Sunshine Cleaning, Amy Adams stars as a single mother supporting her sister and son with her crime scene cleanup business. But can cleaning up other people's messes help her own? The film was produced by the same people who brought us Little Miss Sunshine, and the quirky, heartfelt story was a runaway hit at the Sundance Film Festival.
A year ago, I met a man who was down on his luck. He's got a gift. I thought I might be able to help him.
The Soloist is based on a true story about Nathaniel Ayers, a homeless schizophrenic man played by Jamie Foxx, when an LA Times columnist played by Robert Downey Jr. discovers that Ayers is actually a musical genius. He uses his columns to bring that story to life and also help the LA underclass.
Some of them thought you might want something better to work with. I can't cover that. It's a gift.
I'm gonna cry because he told me what to do.
And for a knockout of a documentary, check out Tyson, about former heavyweight champion Mike Tyson. First screened at the Cannes Film Festival, the doc features original interviews, archive footage, and photos to tell the story of the controversial man who was once the greatest. So while summer is almost over, with all this new Blu-ray, it'll at least feel a little endless, right? I'm Audrey Cleo, and I'll see you next month with more of What's Hot.
Thank you.